How do you deal with conflicting advice from your mentors or even from books or courses or whatever you're consuming for advice? Welcome to another episode of The Truth About Business. Today we are talking about how you deal with conflicting advice that's coming from 2, 3, 4, 5 smart people at the same time. This is a difficult one because there is advice where you want to consume a lot, right? But then there's also advice on you needing to focus. Yet there's a lot of advice on taking advantage of opportunities. So, how do you deal with conflicting advice, conflicting approaches, conflicting principles, conflicting strategies, conflicting tactics, right? If you follow one smart person who's made $1 billion and you follow another smart person who made another $1 billion, and they're both giving you advice, but saying different things, or even worse, saying things that go against each other, what do you do? Or if you're paying a coach and they're telling you to do one thing, but you're reading a book and you're hearing something completely the opposite, and your experience says a complete opposite, what do you do? Well, I was listening to a teacher of all things about meditation. And he was saying how his teacher in meditation would often say conflicting things, where at times he would tell him to forcefully pay attention to the breath, and at other times he'll tell other students, hey, relax, let the breath come to you. So his advice and the teacher, his reasoning for this is that you need to look at it with this analogy where if you're watching someone walk down a road and they can't see where they're walking, and you don't want them to fall in the ditch that's to the right or to the left of them, when they're going to the right, you got to tell them to go left. And when they're going to the left, you got to tell them to go right. So this is a really good analogy for how you deal with conflicting advice, because in that situation, you can see how it's very skillful to tell someone conflicting advice, right? For a little bit, you'll tell them to go left. For the next little bit, you'll tell them to go right. It really depends on where they're trailing off to, right? Same thing goes with your own situation in business. So assuming, as this podcast is made, for those who are going from high 6 figures to 7 figures or 7 to 8, it really depends on the state of your business, and it really depends on where you're at with your team. It really depends on where you're at as, in your business career, as far as what you've experienced so far. The advice will really depend, right? So technically or tactically, how do you deal with this? Well, if there was one strategy or one thing that could clarify that, I think you'd have the answer to a very difficult question that a lot of people are looking for. Some people go a little more spiritual and they say, hey, I just sit there and let the answer come to me. Some other people go wild with testing and do a whole bunch of different things. My advice is to do both, to testing a whole bunch of different things, and then test doing the whole spiritual way of sitting there and seeing what happens, right? Because the thing is, at some point in your business, one of those is probably going to work for you. And at another point in your business, something that thing is probably going to stop working and the total opposite is going to work. So the point of today isn't necessarily to give you a golden answer that you're looking for, but it's to tell you that everybody struggles with this. This is kind of the essence of business, in that business is all about testing what works and solving the problem. Then doing it again, testing what works, solving the problem. Another problem comes up, test something else. Another problem comes up, test something else. It's a never-ending game of solving problems and bringing solutions to the table and seeing what happens. So That's all we got for you today, guys. If you liked it, if you found it valuable, leave us a like. Comment what is conflicting for you right now and what you're going to do about it. And before I end, I do want to say, in my experience of watching entrepreneurs, in my experience in the business world, the best business people in the world are able to hold conflicting things at the same time. They're able to hold being extremely patient, yet having a lot of urgency. Now, maybe you'll ask, how can you do that? Well, watch some of the best business people in the world. They have their teams get things done really quick, but they don't tell them to rush, or they themselves are not rushing, right? Another example, you might have to be very hard and tough on your team, but you might love them too, right? These may seem like conflicting things, but that is the essence of great entrepreneurs and great businesses, is they're able to hold conflicting things at the same time. So anyway, to wrap it up, leave a comment, share how you're going to deal with the conflicts that are coming your way, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.